Hello, my name's Eric Wood. I'm with AI Appointment Booker, and this is going to be on why to use version control. And I'm going to be showing you GitHub, and I'll show you GitHub desktop. And so let's get into it. Why do versioning and version control? Really, the answer is that you get a system for tracking changes to files, and it allows multiple people to work concurrently on the same overall project safely. It also keeps a big history as it goes along because you're doing check-ins of parts of it. As we see here, I've got a little website of my own that where I have the bio and projects and books and that I've written and blogs and talks that I've given. And then I want to show you GitHub, and we'll go over this in depth and see what I use this for and how I use it. So let's talk about the problems about if you don't use version control. If you don't do any versioning, you're going to get burnt eventually. You're going to lose work due to overwriting files, or you lost them somehow. Your hard drive got corrupted or whatever. And then there's also no way to roll back if you don't have versioning. So maybe you liked what it was in the past and you had added and changed and added and changed and went down a path that you weren't really happy with and want to go backwards or take some material from that in the past and pull it into the present. You can't do that, unfortunately, if you don't have any versioning. And then you'll also find it's hard to track who changed what if you got multiple people working on a project. And also you'll have collaboration bottlenecks. Usually the cheap way of doing versioning without doing versioning is you have specialties and certain people only work on certain files or documents. And that's how you keep from conflicting, is that they're the ones that do it. And then you're always relying on them to get the work done for you to overall as a team have what you need. So let's go into why to do versioning. So you want it gives you history tracking. So every change is logged. Second thing it gives you is collaboration. You can work smoothly as a team. Third is it gives you transparency. So you can see who did what, who's the author of some changes. Fourth is it gives you some experimentation. You can do branches and play with ideas and then decide, oh, I want to go back to what we had before. And the fifth reason is for backups. If you have a hard drive go down or things happen to your file or it got deleted or something happened. So the key concepts with this are, of course, repos or repositories. Repositories basically are where the code is stored. It's the location that you're storing the actual program that you're working on, or maybe document that you're working on. And let's talk about the second key concept is committing. So you got to have commit is basically a snapshot of all the changes that have happened, and you're pushing it as of that moment into the version control. And so that snapshot is a commit, is it's usually called. Third concept is a branch, which basically means you're going to make another parallel. You're going to make a copy of it and then work on it for a little while and see if you're happy with it. And so that's the idea of branching, that you got two things that potentially could be going at the same time. And merging, let's talk about that. It's probably the fourth key concept. So that's basically John and Jane made changes and you're going to merge them together. You're going to pick which one will go forward in the final document. And that concept is merge. And Normally what you'll do is you'll do a pull request if you're in a true coding environment, which means you've decided and someone else is going to review your work, your merge that you did, to see if they're happy with it. And local versus remote. Local's the stuff on your box. The remote would be the stuff out on GitHub, for example, or some other server or some other location. Let's talk about GitHub. So our overview of this is you can see what I've got on the screen. It's got repositories, projects, and packages. Repository is the code. And so you see that I've got 10 projects in essence. And it shows 6 of them is the most popular. And you can see the activity that I've done, contributions I've made, and a website that I'll show you in just a moment. So inside it, if I go into it, you can see all the code that it comprises it. And then you can also see even the folders that are, and they'll have files in them. You can also potentially, I'll show you that when we get going, but I'll show you there's commit histories and everything else on this server, and you can see this. So you can see I last changed things 2 years ago on an initial commit, and I changed this document. We could show you how to make a new repo, which is what you're going to really need to do. You have to sign in and then get an account. And then once you make it, you'll get in essence what's I'm showing here, except for your repositories will be blank. And then you'll create your first repository. And then once you've got it, I'd actually probably not create it here. I would push it in from the GitHub desktop tool. So I'm in this current repo, which is the same one, which is my website I was showing. And you can see all the commit history of changes. And you can see what's currently been changed. Right now I've pushed everything up, so there's nothing outstanding. But if I change just a letter on one of the files, it will show up here. And so you'll go to File, New Repository, or Add Local Repository. Clone repositories for if the thing already exists in GitHub that you're interested in, and you want to make a copy of it with somebody else's and you're making a copy, or it's someone else on your team and they started the project and you're taking over. So normally I'll do the clone to do those. And just so that you're clear, I normally put a folder under C, and which will hold everything. And then for each project or different project, basically I'll put a different folder and I'll create those folders. And if I have stuff that I've collected, then I'll throw it in that folder and then, the appropriate folder, and then push it up eventually and create the repo in GitHub. So I've got to get this set up, you really have to set up some things so that it knows where in GitHub you are and what your account is. So you'll sign in to GitHub Enterprise, and then it will remember who you are thereafter. And that's pretty cool. So it's linked, in essence, the sign in links the two so that they work together. And so that you're clear, this GitHub desktop is sitting on my local PC, and way up in the cloud is GitHub itself. And yeah, description. And let's see. Also, it's too frequently. Kind of um, um, and I guess kind of think kind of in wish you the best. Bye.